The foundation of health and longevity begins with what we choose to put into our bodies, and nutrition is far more than simply a matter of calories or weight management. It is the language through which our cells communicate, adapt, and thrive. Every nutrient we consume sends a signal to our body, instructing it to repair, regenerate, and maintain the complex systems that sustain life. Proteins provide the building blocks for muscle, enzymes, and hormones, while healthy fats support cellular membranes, hormonal balance, and energy metabolism. Micronutrients, though required in small amounts, orchestrate countless biochemical reactions that underpin immune function, cognition, and cardiovascular health. When meals are designed with intention, they become more than fuel. They are active participants in our biological processes, guiding the body toward resilience and long-term vitality. Conversely, a diet dominated by processed foods, excessive sugars, or inflammatory fats sends a conflicting message, creating stress at the cellular level, impairing hormone production, and accelerating tissue breakdown. The cumulative effect over months and years is a body that struggles to maintain equilibrium, and even minor challenges can trigger disproportionate fatigue, inflammation, or metabolic dysfunction. Understanding nutrition as a form of cellular communication reframes the way we approach eating, shifting from short-term restriction or indulgence to strategic support of the body's natural intelligence. The timing and composition of meals further influence the body's internal rhythm. Circadian alignment, for example, affects hormone release, digestion, and metabolic efficiency. Consuming nutrient-rich foods during periods when the body is primed for digestion and absorption enhances the efficiency of nutrient utilization, whereas inconsistent patterns can disrupt hormone cycles, elevate stress responses, and impair recovery. Over decades, small discrepancies between what the body needs and what it receives accumulate, manifesting as diminished energy, reduced muscle mass, and slowed cognitive processing. Yet, even later in life, the body retains a remarkable ability to respond positively to corrective signals. By providing balanced macronutrients, micronutrients, and phytonutrients consistently, cells regain the capacity to synthesize proteins, repair membranes, and maintain enzymatic activity at optimal levels. Hydration is an often overlooked component of nutritional strategy. Water is essential not only for thermoregulation and circulation but also for intracellular communication, nutrient transport, and waste removal. Adequate hydration ensures that signaling molecules reach their targets efficiently, metabolic byproducts are removed, and tissues maintain elasticity and resilience. Chronic dehydration, on the other hand, can impair energy production, reduce cognitive clarity, and create a subtle but persistent stress on multiple organ systems. Even minor improvements in hydration, when combined with nutrient-dense foods, amplify the effects of dietary interventions, allowing the body to operate closer to its full physiological potential. Another critical aspect of diet and longevity is the modulation of inflammation. Chronic, low-grade inflammation is a silent driver of many age-related conditions, including insulin resistance, cardiovascular stress, and joint degeneration. Nutrients such as omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, polyphenols, and certain vitamins actively regulate inflammatory pathways at the molecular level. Consuming foods that reduce oxidative stress and balance immune responses not only protects existing tissues but also enhances the capacity for repair and adaptation. Conversely, diets high in refined carbohydrates, trans fats, or pro-inflammatory compounds continuously challenge the body, forcing it to expend energy in defensive processes rather than growth, recovery, or maintenance. The cumulative impact is profound. Subtle dietary patterns, maintained over years, shape the trajectory of health, longevity, and functional independence. The psychological component of nutrition also plays a vital role in sustaining long-term health. Eating with awareness, attention, and appreciation engages the nervous system in a positive feedback loop that enhances digestion, nutrient absorption, and satisfaction. When meals are rushed, processed, or consumed under stress, the body perceives a threat, releasing cortisol and other stress hormones that interfere with insulin regulation, immune function, and tissue repair. By fostering mindful eating habits, individuals not only optimize the biological effects of their nutrition but also cultivate a healthier relationship with food that supports consistency and adherence over decades. Finally, diet interacts synergistically with other pillars of health, including physical activity, hormonal balance, and rest. Nutrients provide the substrate necessary for muscle adaptation, energy metabolism, and hormone synthesis, while regular movement stimulates circulation, oxygen delivery, and cellular responsiveness. Adequate rest and sleep consolidate these effects, allowing nutrients to be utilized efficiently for repair and regeneration. This holistic integration underscores that nutrition is not an isolated intervention but part of a complex system that determines overall vitality and longevity. The choices made at each meal ripple through cellular networks, hormonal cascades, and organ systems, gradually shaping the trajectory of health, energy, and resilience in the decades that follow. By understanding and embracing this perspective, men over 50 can make dietary decisions that actively support their body's natural capacity to sustain strength, clarity, and functionality well into advanced age, creating a foundation upon which all other aspects of vitality can flourish. Hormonal balance, particularly the regulation of testosterone, is a cornerstone of health, energy, and vitality for men over 50, yet it is often overlooked in discussions of longevity. Testosterone is not simply a marker of masculinity, it is a central regulator of metabolism, muscle synthesis, cognitive function, and overall physical resilience. As men age, natural declines in testosterone can lead to reduced muscle mass, decreased bone density, diminished energy levels, and changes in mood or motivation. These shifts are not inevitable consequences of aging but are instead reflective of complex interactions between lifestyle, diet, sleep, and systemic stress. Understanding the mechanisms that influence testosterone allows men to take proactive steps to support hormone balance, optimizing physical performance, metabolic efficiency, and overall well-being. Testosterone operates as a master conductor within the endocrine system, orchestrating the synthesis of muscle protein, the storage and utilization of energy, and even the regulation of neurotransmitters that influence motivation, focus, and mood. When levels decline, the body's efficiency in responding to physical stressors diminishes. Muscles lose tone and endurance, energy metabolism slows, and the capacity to recover from exercise or daily activities is reduced. The implications extend beyond physical performance. Lower testosterone affects cognitive clarity, emotional resilience, and the body's response to inflammatory or metabolic stressors. This interconnectedness demonstrates that hormonal health cannot be treated in isolation. It is deeply integrated with nutrition, exercise, sleep quality, and stress management. Lifestyle interventions play a critical role in supporting testosterone naturally. Resistance training, particularly compound movements engaging large muscle groups, stimulates testosterone production by creating controlled physiological stress that encourages anabolic adaptation. Cardiovascular activity, when performed with balance and moderation, improves circulation, reduces visceral fat, and supports endocrine function, which is particularly important because excessive fat tissue can produce enzymes that convert testosterone into estrogen, further reducing circulating levels. Sleep quality also profoundly influences hormonal production, as testosterone synthesis peaks during deep, restorative sleep cycles. Chronic sleep deprivation disrupts this pattern, lowering morning testosterone levels and impairing recovery, emphasizing the importance of aligning lifestyle habits with the body's natural rhythms. Nutrition serves as a biochemical foundation for hormonal support. Adequate protein intake provides amino acids essential for hormone production and muscle repair. Healthy fats, particularly monounsaturated and omega-3 fatty acids, act as precursors for steroid hormones, including testosterone, and regulate inflammation that can interfere with endocrine signaling. Micronutrients such as zinc, magnesium, and vitamin D are critical cofactors in enzymatic reactions that synthesize testosterone and support receptor sensitivity. Diets that lack these nutrients, or that are high in processed foods, refined sugars, and inflammatory fats, create a metabolic environment that undermines hormonal efficiency and accelerates functional decline. Conversely, dietary patterns that emphasize whole foods, nutrient density, and balance not only provide the substrates for hormone synthesis but also optimize the body's responsiveness to physical activity, stress management, and recovery. Supplementation, when applied thoughtfully, can further enhance hormonal health. Formulations like Test Supreme are designed to provide targeted support for men over 50, combining natural ingredients that influence the pathways regulating testosterone synthesis, energy metabolism, and recovery. The goal of supplementation is not to replace the body's own hormonal production but to provide supportive signals that enhance natural mechanisms, ensuring that anabolic processes function efficiently and sustainably. When integrated with proper nutrition, exercise, and lifestyle practices, these interventions can create measurable improvements in muscle strength, energy levels, and overall vitality, demonstrating that age-related hormonal decline is not an irreversible process. Psychological and systemic factors also influence testosterone. Chronic stress elevates cortisol, which directly suppresses testosterone synthesis while promoting catabolic activity that degrades muscle tissue. Emotional strain, high mental load, and a sedentary lifestyle compound this effect, creating a cycle of declining energy, reduced motivation, and decreased physical activity. Interventions that reduce stress, including mindfulness practices, controlled breathing, and consistent physical movement, not only improve mental clarity but also restore hormonal balance, reinforcing the synergy between mind and body. By creating a low-stress environment for the endocrine system, men over 50 can protect and even enhance the natural production of testosterone, mitigating many of the age-related declines often assumed to be inevitable. The integration of lifestyle, nutrition, supplementation, and stress management creates a systemic environment in which testosterone functions optimally. Each component interacts with the others. Strength training stimulates hormonal production, which is supported by nutrient-dense meals, while restorative sleep consolidates anabolic processes and stress reduction reinforces endocrine signaling. This interconnected approach maximizes physiological resilience, ensuring that men maintain muscle mass, energy, mental clarity, and overall functional capacity. Testosterone, in this context, becomes not merely a number on a lab report but a reflection of the body's adaptive capacity, the efficiency of its metabolism, and the robustness of its recovery systems. Ultimately, supporting testosterone naturally is an exercise in understanding and working with the body's intrinsic intelligence. By providing the proper signals through movement, nutrition, rest, and supportive supplementation, men over 50 can restore anabolic balance, reclaim physical strength, and enhance energy and focus. This holistic approach underscores that aging does not equate to inevitable decline. With consistent, informed strategies, the body retains remarkable plasticity and the capacity to thrive. Testosterone becomes a tool for longevity, functional independence, and quality of life, demonstrating that deliberate choices can profoundly influence the trajectory of health, energy, and resilience well into later decades. Discipline, movement, and consistency are the pillars that define physical resilience, and few examples illustrate this as vividly as the journey of Wesley Snipes, whose career has been shaped not just by talent, but by an unwavering commitment to maintaining peak performance through fitness and martial arts. His body reflects decades of deliberate training, careful attention to nutrition, and the intelligent application of recovery strategies that allow him to perform physically demanding action sequences with agility, strength, and endurance. Beyond the superficial aesthetics of muscle definition, his fitness regimen demonstrates the interplay between skeletal, muscular, and nervous systems, highlighting how movement itself serves as a form of communication between the body and the mind. Each strike, kick, or explosive movement is an adaptive challenge that signals to the neuromuscular system to respond, coordinate, and optimize efficiency, reinforcing patterns of strength, balance, and precision that are cumulative over years of practice. For men over 50, the lessons embedded in this journey are profound. The body retains remarkable capacity for adaptation well beyond the decades often assumed to mark decline, but this potential is unlocked through disciplined, intelligent movement. Martial arts, as practiced by Snipes, exemplifies this principle by combining strength, flexibility, coordination, and reflex training in ways that conventional workouts often fail to achieve. The dynamic, multi-plane motions inherent in martial arts challenge muscle groups in their natural ranges of motion, engage stabilizing structures that are frequently neglected, and train the nervous system to respond efficiently to unexpected forces. This holistic approach enhances not only physical capacity but also proprioception, balance, and agility, all of which are critical for preventing falls and maintaining functional independence in later life. Integral to this process is the concept of progressive adaptation. The body responds to stress by remodeling itself in ways that improve its ability to handle future demands. In Snipes training, exercises are structured to create controlled stress, whether through explosive movements, strength work, or endurance drills, and recovery periods are integrated to allow for tissue repair and neurological consolidation. Each repetition, each session, contributes to neuromuscular memory and structural resilience, enhancing both power and efficiency. The nervous system learns to coordinate complex sequences of movement, optimizing timing, force generation, and joint stability. Over time, this process builds a body that is not merely strong but capable of graceful, precise, and adaptable movement. Nutrition and recovery are critical components that enable these adaptations to occur. Without adequate protein, micronutrients, and energy balance, the body cannot repair tissues or produce the enzymes and hormones necessary to sustain high-level performance. Similarly, structured recovery allows muscles, connective tissues, and the nervous system to consolidate adaptations. Sleep and rest periods are not passive intervals, they are essential phases in which anabolic hormones are released, neural pathways are reinforced, and metabolic processes are optimized. In this way, Snipes' regimen illustrates a principle that is equally applicable to men over 50. Consistent, intelligent training combined with proper nutrition and recovery allows the body to sustain high performance and resilience far longer than commonly assumed. Another dimension of his approach is the integration of mental focus with physical practice. Martial arts training cultivates mindfulness, situational awareness, and cognitive engagement, which in turn enhance motor control, timing, and decision-making. For older adults, this combination of cognitive and physical challenge strengthens neural connections, preserving reaction time, coordination, and executive function. Movement is therefore not merely mechanical but an integrative process, linking the central nervous system with muscular, skeletal, and metabolic systems to optimize the body's overall functional capacity. Over decades, this interplay produces a body that is not only strong and agile but adaptable, capable of responding to novel challenges efficiently and with minimal risk of injury. The consistency of practice, even in small, focused sessions, produces cumulative benefits that are disproportionate to the effort invested in any single session. By emphasizing quality over quantity, attention over intensity, and precision over brute force, the body is trained to respond intelligently to stress rather than simply endure it. This principle is critical for longevity. Older adults often cannot tolerate extreme loads without risking injury, but they can achieve remarkable improvements through carefully calibrated, repetitive, and intentional movement. Snipes' career exemplifies this approach at a professional level, yet the same underlying principles apply to anyone seeking to preserve functional capacity, strength, and vitality in midlife and beyond. Finally, his fitness journey underscores the importance of adaptability and resilience. Life and aging inevitably introduce new challenges, joint limitations, changes in hormone levels, shifts in metabolism, but the body responds most effectively when it is conditioned to move intelligently, recover efficiently, and respond dynamically. Martial arts and disciplined physical training cultivate this adaptability by continuously challenging balance, coordination, strength, and endurance in varied and complex patterns. The result is a body capable of maintaining performance and functional independence well into later decades, supported by the integrated systems of muscle, nerve, and metabolism. Through observing and understanding this approach, men over 50 can see that longevity and functional fitness are not abstract goals but practical outcomes of deliberate practice, consistent movement, strategic nutrition, and mindful recovery. The body remains responsive to the signals we provide, capable of regeneration and adaptation when nurtured with intention. In this context, the lessons drawn from Wesley Snipes' disciplined fitness routine illuminate a broader truth. Age does not define capacity, but the choices we make, the movements we perform, and the care we give our bodies collectively determine how resilient, capable, and energetic we can remain. Recovery, rest, and the subtle rhythms of the body form the often overlooked foundation upon which strength, vitality, and longevity are built. While movement and nutrition provide the signals and the raw materials for adaptation, it is during periods of restoration that the body consolidates these gains, repairs tissues, and recalibrates physiological systems to operate more efficiently. Sleep, for instance, is not a passive state but a highly orchestrated process during which growth hormone peaks, neural pathways are reinforced, and metabolic and immune systems reset. For men over 50, optimizing recovery is critical because the capacity for repair and regeneration gradually diminishes with age. Without adequate rest, even the most carefully designed training and dietary interventions fail to achieve their full potential, as tissues remain fatigued, hormones are imbalanced, and the nervous system remains in a heightened state of stress. The relationship between recovery and the nervous system is particularly profound. Chronic stress, whether from lifestyle pressures, physical overexertion, or unaddressed pain, maintains sympathetic nervous system dominance, a state commonly described as fight or flight. In this mode, the body prioritizes immediate survival over repair, diverting resources away from muscle growth, neural plasticity, and cellular regeneration. Recovery practices, structured sleep, meditation, controlled breathing, and restorative movement, signal to the nervous system that the environment is safe, allowing parasympathetic activity to increase and anabolic processes to proceed. Over time, this recalibration reduces systemic inflammation, improves hormonal balance, and enhances the efficiency of energy utilization, creating a physiological environment in which vitality and resilience can flourish. Nutrition also plays a vital role in maximizing recovery. Consuming nutrient-dense foods after exercise provides the substrates necessary for tissue repair and replenishment. Proteins deliver essential amino acids for muscle synthesis, while carbohydrates restore glycogen stores and support energy metabolism. Micronutrients and antioxidants combat oxidative stress that accumulates during physical activity, protecting cellular structures and ensuring that repair mechanisms function optimally. Hydration, often underestimated, facilitates nutrient transport, metabolic reactions, and waste removal, ensuring that the body can complete recovery processes efficiently. By combining strategic nutrition with adequate rest, men over 50 can create conditions where the body not only heals but adapts, becoming stronger, more coordinated, and more resilient with each cycle of exertion and restoration. The timing and quality of rest periods are just as important as the duration. Deep, uninterrupted sleep facilitates growth hormone release and consolidates neuromuscular learning, ensuring that movements practiced during the day are encoded efficiently into motor memory. Short, frequent recovery sessions during waking hours, stretching, gentle mobility work, or controlled breathing, complement longer sleep cycles by promoting circulation, reducing muscle tension, and signaling to the nervous system that it is safe to shift from a protective mode to a regenerative mode. These integrated strategies highlight the principle that recovery is not merely an absence of activity, but an active, intentional process that amplifies the benefits of all other health interventions. Psychological factors are deeply intertwined with physical recovery. Mindfulness, meditation, and periods of quiet reflection reduce cognitive load and allow the nervous system to reset, decreasing stress hormones that interfere with anabolic and repair processes. Mental engagement during recovery, such as visualization of movement, can enhance neuromuscular coordination and reinforce movement patterns learned during training. The interplay between mind and body ensures that recovery is not only structural but also functional, strengthening the connections between neural pathways, muscle activation, and balance. Over time, these practices enhance not only physical resilience but also mental clarity, emotional stability, and overall quality of life, demonstrating that recovery extends beyond the cellular level to influence the whole organism. Adaptive recovery is another critical component for longevity. As men age, the body's capacity to handle intensive stress diminishes, and improper recovery can lead to chronic fatigue, overuse injuries, and metabolic imbalance. Structured recovery protocols that respect the body's changing needs allow for sustainable engagement in physical activity, preserving muscle mass, joint health, and cardiovascular function. Restorative practices, such as gentle mobility work, light aerobic activity, or yoga, maintain circulation, flexibility, and tissue elasticity while imposing minimal stress, providing the dual benefits of active recovery and continued adaptation. By listening to the body and adjusting intensity, duration, and type of activity, recovery becomes a personalized strategy for longevity, enabling the body to respond effectively to both internal and external demands. The integration of sleep, nutrition, mental relaxation, and active recovery produces a compounding effect on overall health. These elements work synergistically. Nutrient-dense foods provide the raw materials, movement generates the adaptive stimulus, and recovery ensures that the body can process and integrate these inputs efficiently. This cyclical interplay creates a resilient system that supports strength, endurance, and coordination, while simultaneously reducing injury risk and mitigating the physiological effects of aging. By prioritizing recovery as an essential, non-negotiable component of daily life, men over 50 can maintain functional independence, energy, and vitality, ultimately allowing them to engage with physical and mental challenges with confidence, efficiency, and sustained enthusiasm. Recovery, therefore, is not simply the absence of activity or the passive waiting for the body to heal. It is an active, deliberate, and strategic process that shapes the trajectory of longevity. It is in these periods of rest that adaptation occurs, systems recalibrate, and the benefits of effort are magnified. Understanding recovery is a multidimensional process, encompassing sleep, nutrition, nervous system regulation, mental engagement, and active restoration, allows men to unlock the full potential of their bodies, preserving energy, resilience, and function far beyond what might be expected for their chronological age, creating a foundation upon which health, performance, and vitality can continue to expand. Energy, vitality, and the ability to perform daily tasks with confidence are not merely reflections of youth. They are the cumulative outcome of consistent choices, integrated systems, and deliberate actions. For men over 50, sustaining functional capacity requires more than occasional exercise or sporadic attention to diet. It demands a holistic approach that combines movement, nutrition, hormonal support, and recovery into an ongoing rhythm that the body can respond to intelligently. The feeling of vigor that accompanies functional strength is the product of muscular efficiency, nervous system coordination, metabolic balance, and cardiovascular resilience. These systems are interdependent. A deficiency in one area can limit overall performance, whereas synergistic optimization of multiple domains produces a body that is capable, responsive, and adaptable to the demands of daily life and unexpected challenges. Functional energy is largely determined by the efficiency of muscular and metabolic systems. Muscles are not simply for appearance. They act as engines for movement, stability, and metabolic activity. Maintaining muscle mass and strength improves posture, balance, and the ability to execute complex motions with precision, reducing the risk of injury. Simultaneously, muscles play a significant role in glucose utilization, lipid metabolism, and systemic energy regulation, meaning that stronger, more active muscles contribute directly to sustained energy levels and metabolic health. For men over 50, resistance training and functional movement exercises provide the stimulus necessary to preserve these capabilities, while also promoting neural adaptation that ensures movements are coordinated and efficient, minimizing unnecessary energy expenditure. Hormonal health further amplifies functional energy. Testosterone, growth hormone, and other anabolic hormones facilitate tissue repair, protein synthesis, and metabolic efficiency. As these hormones naturally decline with age, energy levels and muscle maintenance can decrease unless proactive strategies are implemented. Nutritional support, targeted supplementation, and lifestyle interventions help maintain hormonal balance, allowing the body to respond to physical challenges more effectively and recover more efficiently. Restorative practices, including sleep optimization and stress management, ensure that these hormonal systems operate at peak efficiency, reinforcing the connection between energy production and systemic adaptation. Cardiovascular health is another cornerstone of sustained vitality. The heart, lungs, and vascular system work in tandem to deliver oxygen and nutrients to tissues while removing waste products. Aerobic conditioning and interval training enhance circulation, improve oxygen utilization, and strengthen cardiac output, all of which directly influence daily energy levels and endurance. When cardiovascular systems function efficiently, even simple movements such as walking, climbing stairs, or performing household tasks require less effort, leaving the body with additional energy reserves for both physical and cognitive activities. Integrating cardiovascular conditioning with strength and functional training produces a synergy that maximizes energy output while minimizing fatigue, ensuring that men over 50 can maintain independence and active engagement in life. Nutrition underpins every aspect of energy and vitality. The body requires not only sufficient calories but a balance of macronutrients and micronutrients to fuel activity, repair tissue, and support metabolic pathways. Proteins supply the amino acids necessary for muscle maintenance, fats provide substrates for hormone synthesis and cellular function, and carbohydrates supply rapid energy for physical and cognitive performance. Micronutrients, including minerals and vitamins, facilitate enzymatic reactions that convert food into usable energy while protecting against oxidative stress that accumulates with age. Adequate hydration ensures that these processes operate efficiently, maintaining both cellular function and systemic endurance. By intentionally designing meals and hydration strategies to match activity and recovery needs, men can support sustained energy levels throughout the day. Recovery and nervous system regulation amplify functional energy by ensuring that the body integrates the benefits of exercise and nutrition. Sleep consolidates neuromuscular learning, repairs tissue, and restores cognitive function, while periods of active recovery and mindful movement reduce tension, improve circulation, and optimize motor coordination. When the nervous system operates efficiently, movements require less conscious effort, energy is conserved, and reflexive responses are faster and more accurate. This efficiency translates to practical improvements in daily life. Movements feel fluid, balance is maintained effortlessly, and fatigue accumulates more slowly, enabling engagement in activities that would otherwise be draining. Psychological factors also shape the experience of vitality. Confidence in one's physical capacity, motivation to maintain healthy routines, and mental clarity all influence energy levels. Positive feedback loops arise when physical capability and mental engagement reinforce one another. As men feel stronger, more agile, and more coordinated, motivation increases, adherence to health routines improves, and overall quality of life rises. Conversely, declines in physical capacity can create anxiety, fatigue, and avoidance behaviors, demonstrating the interdependence of mind and body in sustaining energy. The integration of all these factors, strength, endurance, hormonal support, nutrition, recovery, and psychological engagement, produces a compounding effect on vitality. Men over 50 who prioritize these areas experience not only improvements in physical performance but also in cognitive function, resilience to stress, and general well-being. Daily tasks become more manageable, spontaneous activity feels effortless, and the body is better equipped to respond to challenges with efficiency and control. Energy is no longer a fleeting or variable resource but a sustainable state that underpins independence, enjoyment, and engagement in life. Through consistent attention to movement, nutrition, hormonal health, and recovery, men over 50 can cultivate a body that operates with power, balance, and endurance, while maintaining flexibility and resilience. Functional energy is the product of a carefully orchestrated system in which every choice, what we eat, how we move, how we rest, and how we respond to stress, shapes capacity and vitality. When these elements are aligned, the body demonstrates remarkable adaptability, allowing men to perform with confidence, sustain activity, and engage fully with life's opportunities, preserving both independence and quality of life well into advanced age.